I have a lot to say. So today I would like to talk about and share information regarding my evaluation of the organic coffee enema versus hydrotherapy, better known as the colonic. Stay tuned. So during this evaluation, I'm going to try to be as objective as possible and looking at this from a perspective of being a first-time user of both the organic coffee enema and the colonic. So when considering either one of these, I believe that a person has to have a strong, determined desire to reach a health goal or to resolve a medical issue, and that is not to be discounted or taken lightly. With that being said, I'm going to take a look at the weirdness factor. So I'm going to say that with both the organic coffee enema and the colonic, there is a weirdness factor when you're thinking about inserting anything in the anus to accomplish anything. But with the organic coffee enema, per my first inclination about this type of therapy, I thought it was absolutely crazy. I thought it was extreme. I'd never heard of it before. I thought it was radical, and it took me a great deal of time to get around to being comfortable with trying this therapy, but it was my sheer determination to overcome the medical issues that I was facing. So when looking at the colonic, I don't know of anyone that is able to do a colonic at home. The organic coffee enema can be done at home. So there's a weirdness factor to me when you're going to a public facility. You don't know if they have camera. You don't know anything that's going on prior to you laying on the table. So there's a weirdness factor when you have to do the colonic in a public facility. Some people I've seen online have to do it while people watch or people insert things. And to me, that is a weirdness factor. So for this, I'm going to say it's a draw. The radicalness of putting coffee in the colon in the privacy of your own home versus putting simple water in your colon in a public setting. So the next thing that I'm going to consider is cost. So for me, I was able to find a colonic facility that charged $64. This was an introductory rate, and it covered the service for one treatment. And now looking online for the organic coffee, I see prices from around $15 to about $75. So to make this comparison fair, I'm going to say that the colonic was $64 and the coffee that I would buy would be $64. When comparing the two, the colonic is a one-time treatment and you spend $64 versus the coffee where you spend $64 and you're able to use it over and over and over again. So I'm not going to consider the tubing or the container that you have to purchase for the coffee because this is incidental and it's a one-time fee, and once you purchase it, you can use it indefinitely. I'm also going to consider the support factor. And this I'm going to define as receiving actual physical support in administering either type of therapy. So when looking at the organic coffee enema, I did an online search and I was unable to find any facility in my area that would administer an organic coffee enema. So I'm going to take this as being a DIY, do-it-yourself type of therapy. It is something that you're responsible for doing your own research, purchasing your own supplies and equipment, administering solely by yourself without the support of others, considering the fact that most people's households don't have a trained professional to help administer an organic coffee enema. You're kind of doing it on a hope and a prayer. So comparing the colonic, where you are going to a facility that has trained staff that routinely do the colonic that are there to answer questions, provide support. I've even seen some facilities where people are in the room with you throughout. They administer, they insert the applicator, and if there's something wrong, you have someone physically there to offer some assistance. With the organic coffee enema, you're responsible for any fallout that happens with that therapy, like such as calling 911. So the final thing that I'm going to consider is the effectiveness of these two therapies. Now this is going to be based on my experience and the results that I received. So offhand, I'm going to say that the organic coffee enema was definitely more effective in releasing waste and buildup and toxins from my intestines. When looking at the colonic, one has to consider the fact that you have to get dressed, you have to go, travel to the facility, you have to deal with traffic, you have to deal with time crunches. There is possibly a wait in the waiting room. And then you're looking at about a 45-minute procedure where you are repeatedly holding and releasing the water that is being flushed through the intestines. And then you have the whole down period and the dressing period and the travel back home. So with the organic coffee, you're doing it in the comfort of your home. I would say about 30 minutes to prepare the coffee and it to cool down. 15 minutes max for the procedure. 12 minutes is the goal, and most people don't even make it to 12 minutes, and you still get the results of your liver releasing. With the colonic, it took 28 or 30 minutes before I got a release of whatever was trapped in my intestines. With the organic coffee enema, it is as soon as you, and sometimes before you sit down, you have a release of what is trapped in the intestines. It is more effective because that is what it's designed to do. That's its purpose, to cause the liver to react, versus a more passive process of just flushing water into the intestines and allowing things arbitrarily to fall out. So I will say that the organic coffee enema is more effective to me in releasing waste and things that have been stored up in the body that are harming the body. The colonic is basically a cleaning or a rinsing or lubrication of that area. It just depends on someone's goals. If you found this video helpful or informative, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.